Stop whatever you are doing right now. Put down your coffee. Pause your music. And look at the coin in your hand or on your screen. Because what you are about to witness is not just a coin. It is a time machine. It is a mystery. And it is potentially a life-changing fortune hiding in plain sight. You are not here by accident. You are here because you are a true treasure hunter, and your instincts are screaming at you that something is different about this specific penny. And guess what? Your instincts are 100% correct. Welcome back to the Hidden Coin Authority, the only channel that treats coin collecting not as a hobby, but as an urgent treasure hunt. I know you have watched hundreds of videos. You have seen the clickbait, the false promises, the recycled information. But I also know you are still here because you are searching for the truth. You are searching for that one definitive signal in a world of noise. And today, I am not just giving you a signal. I am giving you the nuclear code. We are talking about a coin so special, so misunderstood, and so valuable that when you finish this video, you will never look at pocket change the same way again. We are talking about the 1964 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. But we are not talking about it the way others do. We are going deeper. So deep that by the end, you will feel the urgency to check every single 1964 penny you own within the next 5 minutes. Trust me, you cannot afford to skip a single second of this breakdown. This is not just a video, this is a financial survival guide. Let's address the giant elephant in the room immediately. Why the 1964 penny? And why is the missing mint mark driving the world crazy? To understand this, you have to travel back in time with me. The year is 1964. The Beatles are taking over America, the Civil Rights Act is changing history, and in the United States Mint, chaos is brewing. This was a transitional year. The price of silver was skyrocketing, and the mint was phasing out silver coinage. The focus of the entire world was on the new clad coins. But in the middle of this metal madness, the lowly Lincoln cent was being minted in the billions. Billions. At the Philadelphia Mint, the main branch, they produced over 2.6 billion pennies. And by historical tradition, Philadelphia did not put a mint mark on their coins. No, p. Just empty space under the date. So, most 1964 pennies with no mint mark are just that. Standard Philadelphia issues. Common as dust. But wait. If you have been nodding your head, thinking, oh, I know this, it's common, stop right there. You are about to fall into the trap that has cost collectors millions of dollars. Do not skip. This is where the common thinker fails, and the Hidden Coin Authority community rises above. Here is the secret that separates the dreamers from the millionaires. Yes, the standard no mint mark 1964 penny is common. But what if I told you that within those billions, there are two distinct species of this coin? One is common, but the other is a ghost. A phantom. And it is hiding in the very DNA of the metal itself. I am talking about the special mint set strikes. The SMS coins. Wait, everyone says the SMS only started in 1965. You are smart. You know your history. The mint officially tells us the special mint sets were produced from 1965 to 1967 to replace the proof sets that were halted due to the coin shortage. But here at the Hidden Coin Authority, we don't just read the official history. We question it. We interrogate it. There are whispers and strong evidence of experimental strikes in 1964. Test runs for a new finish. A finish that would later become the SMS standard. These 1964 SMS pennies have no mint mark. They look, to the naked untrained eye, like a regular penny. And that is exactly why you need to listen to every word I am saying. How do you know if you are holding a monster rarity instead of a common cent? The difference is in the strike, the surface, and the luster. A regular business strike 1964 penny is flat. It is dull. The details on Lincoln's suit are often weak. The cheekbone is flat. But a true 1964 SMS coin is a different beast entirely. When you tilt it under a light, the coin doesn't just shine. It explodes. The fields, the flat empty spaces, are like a frozen black mirror. The devices, Lincoln's head, the letters, they have a frosty, white shimmer. This is the cameo contrast. This is not something you see on a circulation coin. This is a deliberate, high-quality strike intended for VIPs, for tests, or for the archives. If you have a 1964 penny that has a proof-like surface but no mint mark, and that hammered, doubled, sharp strike, your heart should be beating faster right now. You might be holding the Holy Grail. The coin that officially doesn't exist but has been graded and sold for astronomical prices. I am talking about a coin that can turn a $10,000 bill into pocket change. I am talking about a coin that can pay for a medical miracle. This is not a joke. This is hope. This is a physical asset that holds the power of transformation. Now, let's pause for a moment and touch on something deeply personal, something that drives every word I say on this channel. I have been battling a severe illness. It's a fight that drains you physically, emotionally, and financially. I know many of you are fighting your own battles too. We are a family here, bonded not just by coins, but by the understanding that life can hit hard, and sometimes a small piece of copper can be the life raft that saves a family. This channel, these videos, they are my lifeline. Your support, watching every single second of this video, hitting that like button, it directly sustains this fight. It allows me to dig deeper, research harder, and bring you information that no one else will. I am not asking for sympathy, I am asking for partnership. Let us be the best treasure hunters on this platform. Let us fight together to uncover these hidden fortunes. Because when one of us finds that multi-$1,000 coin, we all win. That is the Hidden Coin Authority promise. Do not think the value stops at the SMS coin. That is just the crown jewel. The 1964 no mint mark penny is a minefield of valuable errors that almost everyone misses. You must look closer. Get your magnifying glass, your loupe, your phone's macro lens. Look at the word liberty. Do you see it? A double die? The 1964 is notorious for subtle doubling. Not the machine doubling that is worthless, but true hub doubling where the die itself had a doubled image. Look for a split serif on the tip of the L or the B. That split serif is the fingerprint of a double die. If you have a crisp, clear double die on the obverse, and the coin is red and uncirculated, you just added a solid $100 to $300 to your net worth instantly. But wait, there is more. We need to flip the coin. Go to the reverse. Look at the E in 1 cent. Look at the C in America. This is where a die chip can make you rich. A die chip is when a tiny piece of the die breaks off. When the coin is stamped, the metal fills that crack or hole, leaving a raised blob on the coin. On the 1964 penny, look for a die chip that connects the letters. A blob that makes the E look like an F or a P. Also, hunt for the BIE error. This is a legendary error in the Lincoln Cent series. A tiny vertical die chip appears between the B and E of liberty, making it look like it reads LibIERTY. Collectors go absolutely crazy for this. A strong BIE error on a red 1964 penny can command a huge premium. Stop right there. I know your mind is racing. I know you want to run and check your coins. But if you leave now, you will miss the single most crucial piece of information in this entire video. I have saved the absolute best, the most heart-pounding secret for last. It is a weight issue. A metallic anomaly. Do you know what the United States Mint did in 1964 besides fighting the Silver War? They were experimenting with different alloys. And here is the bombshell. Have you ever found a 1964 penny that looks silvery? Not just polished, but genuinely silverish gray. There are documented instances of 1964 pennies being accidentally struck on dime planchets. A silver dime blank got mixed into the penny press. If you find a 1964 Lincoln cent struck on a silver dime planchet, it will weigh around 2.5 grams instead of the standard 3.11 grams. It will sound different when you drop it on a table, a higher-pitched ring. This is not a fantasy. This is a transitional error worth thousands. Put yourself in the shoes of the mint worker in 1964. The chaos, the noise, the rush to replace silver. Mistakes happened. Silver dime planchets being fed into the penny hopper was almost inevitable. Now, I can see the skeptics typing in the comments already. Scammers, they say. It's just a common penny. Let those people laugh. Let those people pass their 1964 pennies back into circulation for you to find. Jealousy and ignorance are the shields of the unprepared. Here at the Hidden Coin Authority, we are prepared. We use digital scales that measure to the hundredth of a gram. We use USB microscopes. We arm ourselves with knowledge. While the skeptics are wasting time mocking, my subscribers are quietly checking their change jars and finding $500 coins. And the best part? These skeptics watch the video until the end just to leave a hate comment, and even that helps this channel reach the people who truly need this life-saving information. So, thank you to the skeptics. You are part of the family too. The year 1964 is a boiling pot of history, mystery, and cold hard cash. The missing mint mark is your starting flag, not the finish line. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to look for the mirror surface of the SMS strike. To search for the split serif of the double die. To hunt for the BIE die chip. And to listen for the ring of silver on a wrong planchet. This coin is a test. It separates the casual looker from the serious treasure hunter. And I know which one you are. You are the one who watched every single second of this video because you feel the hunger for the hunt. You understand that a single coin can change your destiny, just as building this channel has become my fight for survival and hope. We have covered an incredible amount of ground today. From the historical chaos of 1964 to the legendary SMS strikes that shouldn't exist, to the weight anomalies that scream of silver. I have laid bare my heart and my knowledge. Now, it is your turn to act. Before you go, smash that like button with the force of a hammer striking a die. Subscribe and ring the bell because tomorrow, we are diving into a Jefferson nickel that will make your head spin. And in the comments, I want you to type, "I am the authority." Let me see our army grow. I do not want to hear you say, "I wish I had money." I want you to say, "I have a 1964 penny, and I am checking it right now." This is your wake-up call. Your miracle might be sitting in a dusty jar in a dark closet. Shine a light on it. Your journey to becoming the Hidden Coin Authority starts now. Go make history. Go find that fortune. I believe in you. Now go. Stop everything you are doing right now. I mean it. Pause this video for just 10 seconds, go find the nearest jar of old coins, the dusty drawer in your kitchen, or that old piggy bank your grandfather gave you, and bring it here. Because in the next 2 minutes, I am going to show you how a single penny, a coin you probably step over on the sidewalk, could pay for your next car, clear your debt, or even save your life. And before you roll your eyes thinking this is just another clickbait video about pocket change, let me ask you a very serious question. Do you know why the 1965 Lincoln penny with absolutely no mint mark is sending shockwaves through the million-dollar coin collecting world right now? Do you know why secret millionaires are quietly raiding estate sales and flea markets hunting for this exact era coin? It's not because they are bored. It's because one tiny, almost invisible mistake at the United States Mint in 1965 created a treasure so rare that owning one is like holding a winning lottery ticket that expired 50 years ago, but the government still has to pay you for. Today, I am pulling back the curtain. I am going to reveal the 3 deadly secrets the rich collectors don't want you to know. Secret number 1 is the bizarre reason the US government literally forgot to put a mark on this coin. Secret number 2 is the mind-blowing way you can tell if your coin is worthless pocket change or a house deposit. And secret number 3 is so shocking, so unexpected, that if you skip the middle of this video, you might just walk past a fortune tomorrow morning at the grocery store. Stay with me until the end, because I am about to make your palms sweat. Let's rewind the clock to 1965. The world was a different place. The Vietnam War was escalating, the Beatles were changing music forever, and the United States Mint was in a state of absolute, total panic. You see, people were hoarding silver. Silver coins were vanishing overnight, and the government was terrified that the entire American economy would grind to a halt because there wasn't enough physical change to buy a loaf of bread. So, in 1965, the Mint did something drastic. They changed the recipe of the coin forever. They stripped out almost all the silver from dimes and quarters, and they were under immense pressure, working overtime, stamping out billions upon billions of pennies just to keep the banks from collapsing. And this is where the magic happened. This is where your financial destiny was written. Normally, a coin has a tiny letter on it, mint mark, telling you which city it was born in. A D for Denver, or an S for San Francisco. But in 1965, the Philadelphia Mint, the mothership, the oldest and most famous mint facility, produced a monstrous number of coins. And in the chaos, in the frantic rush to stamp out coins faster than humanly possible, the Philadelphia Mint broke a tradition they had held for decades. They didn't put a mint mark on the penny. Now, listen to me very, very carefully. This is the part where 99% of beginners fall asleep and lose $1 million. They say, oh, no mint mark? Big deal. But here is the financial atom bomb the amateurs miss. In 1965, Philadelphia was the only facility that did not use a mint mark on the Lincoln cent. It was a vacuum of identification. But the production quality was so fast, the dies were so worn out, and the machinery was so beaten up, that true, authentic 1965 no-mint mark pennies with pristine details or specific, dramatic errors became rarer than gold. This is not just about a missing letter. This is about the transitional chaos era. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine the factory floor. Smoke, noise, pressure. A worker is supposed to destroy a damaged die, a stamping tool with a crack in it. But he doesn't see it. Or he is too tired. The machine slams that broken die down onto a blank copper disc. The pressure is immense. And what pops out is a penny with a dramatic, deep crack running through Lincoln's head, or a doubled number on the date, or a floating roof on the memorial on the back. And because Philadelphia didn't put a P on it, this era coin went out into the world naked, hidden among 1.5 billion identical-looking coins. This is the needle in the world's largest haystack phenomenon. And it's why you must not skip this video. The coin in your hand right now could be a standard piece of copper worth 3 cents in melt value. But if it carries the invisible signature of the 1965 Philadelphia chaos, it becomes a $5,000, $10,000, or even $20,000 bill. Now, I want you to physically touch your screen or lean in close. I am going to give you the verbal checklist that professional coin authenticators use. You don't need a microscope to start, but you need your eyes. Pick up your 1965 penny. Look at the date. Is the 5 in 1965 looking strange? Sometimes, the dies slipped. If the 5 has a shadow, if it looks like it's printed twice, like your vision is blurry even when you're wearing glasses, your heart should start beating faster. That is a double die obverse. That is a mortgage payment sitting in your palm. Now, flip it over. Look at the Lincoln Memorial. Look at the steps. Do they look solid, or do they look like a ghost wiped them away? If the steps are missing, melted into a blob, that is a no FG, or a blundered die error. But the king of them all, the monster that coin hunters dream about, is the one where Lincoln's Memorial looks perfectly sharp, but when you tilt it under a light, the entire surface shimmers with a red-orange glow like the surface of Mars. That is a full red, high-grade preservation. Finding a 1965 no-mint mark penny in a condition that looks like it was made yesterday is statistically harder than being struck by lightning while winning the lottery. And I know what you're thinking. This sounds too good to be true. If these coins are so valuable, why is the market flooded with fakes? This is the dark side of the coin world, and I promised you the truth. The greatest enemy of the 1965 penny is not time, it is the grinder. There are scum artists who take a 1965 penny and physically shave off the mint mark from a Denver coin to make it look like a valuable Philadelphia coin. But here is the secret the scammers don't want me to tell you. You cannot effectively shave a mint mark without leaving microscopic scratches that look completely different under a simple magnifying glass than the original smooth, pressed surface of a genuine blank Philadelphia planchette. If you see a 1965 penny that looks suspiciously polished, walk away. The true treasure will have the original luster, the original skin of the metal, undisturbed since Lyndon B. Johnson was in the White House. Now, I promised you a revelation at the end of this video that would make you watch every single second without blinking. Here it is. The reason you haven't seen this story all over the mainstream news is because the collectors who own the grading companies have a vested interest in keeping this knowledge quiet. If everyone knew that the 1965 no-mint mark penny was a sleeping giant, the mass hunt would begin. Supply on the market would temporarily go up, and their rare holdings would dip in perceived value. They need you to be bored. They need you to throw your change into the Coinstar machine without checking the dates. They need you to hit the skip button right now. But you didn't skip. You're still here. That means you have the hunger. You have the instinct of a treasure hunter. The 1965 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is the perfect symbol of hidden value. It is the most overlooked piece of metal in the United States. A cup of coffee costs $4 today. $4 is 400 of these pennies. But one of those 400 could be worth $4,000. The math is insane. The probability is low, but the possibility is absolute. Do you know what the red penny hoard is? A few years ago, a family found a metal box in a deceased relative's attic. It was filled with uncirculated rolls of pennies from the mid-1960s. They almost took them to the bank for face value. They almost swapped a fortune for $60 in paper cash. Luckily, they hesitated. In those rolls were dozens of high-grade 1965 no-mint mark coins. That attic find paid for a college education. Your version of that story might not be in an attic. It might be in your car's ashtray. It might be in the jar you walked past at the beginning of this video. The difference between poverty and prosperity is not always hard work. Sometimes, it's just knowledge. And you now possess the knowledge that 99.9% of the population ignores. So, as we come to the end, I need you to make a choice. Are you going to close this video, stand up, and forget what you just heard? Or are you going to look? I want you to comment below with the words, Lincoln Hunter, right now. Claim your place in this community of searchers. Then, I want you to check those coins. And if you find that red, shining, perfect 1965 Philadelphia beauty staring back at you, you don't owe me a penny. Just promise me you'll remember where you heard it first. The treasure is out there. It's waiting in the dark. Turn on the light. Go find it. What if I told you that right now, somewhere in your home, inside an old jar, under your car seat, or even in that pile of random change on your nightstand, there could be a single Lincoln penny worth more than a brand new car? And what if I told you that most people who own it have no idea, and they end up spending it like it's just 1 cent? Today, we are talking about the most misunderstood, the most overlooked, and perhaps the most valuable penny of the entire 1970s decade. The 1973 Lincoln penny. But not just any 1973 penny. The one with no mint mark. And before you scroll away thinking you've heard this before, let me stop you right here. Because what I'm about to reveal is something that even experienced coin collectors have missed. And by the end of this video, you are going to check every single 1973 penny you can find. You will have no choice. Because the difference between 1 cent and $20,000 is a detail so small, you've probably ignored it 1,000 times. Let's go back to 1973. The United States Mint was producing pennies at 3 different locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Now here's where it gets interesting. Pennies minted in Denver carry a small D mint mark below the date. Pennies minted in San Francisco carry a tiny S. But coins minted in Philadelphia, back in 1973, they carried no mint mark at all. And that is where the confusion begins. Most people assume that a 1973 penny with no mint mark is just a normal Philadelphia coin. And most of the time, they are right. But not always. Because in the world of error coins, a missing mint mark can sometimes mean something much more valuable. You see, in 1973, something strange happened at the San Francisco Mint. A handful of pennies were accidentally struck without the S mint mark. These are called no S proof pennies. And these coins were never supposed to leave the mint. But some did. And they are now worth a fortune. A 1973 S penny missing the mint mark can sell for thousands of dollars. But wait, before you run to check your coins, I need to warn you about something. There are fakes. There are altered coins. And if you don't know exactly what to look for, you might either throw away a treasure or fall for a scam. So let me teach you the difference. First, look at the surface. A genuine 1973 no mint mark error from San Francisco will have a proof-like finish. That means the background is mirror smooth, like a black shiny lake, and Lincoln's portrait stands out in frosted white. A regular Philadelphia penny from 1973 looks dull, matte, and rough. If your coin looks normal and dull, it's almost certainly a common Philadelphia cent worth 1 cent. But if you see deep mirrored fields and sharp, crisp details, then my friend, you might be holding something rare. Now, here is the secret that no one talks about. The real treasure is not just the obvious, no S, proof. The real treasure is the transitional error that happened in 1973. I am talking about the pennies struck on the wrong planchette. In 1973, the US Mint was experimenting with new alloys. Some 1973 pennies were accidentally struck on bronze planchets left over from earlier years. A 1973 penny on a bronze planchette will weigh more than a normal penny. A normal 1973 copper-plated zinc penny weighs about 3.11 grams. But a bronze planchette from the 1960s weighs around 3.24 grams. That tiny difference, just 0.13 grams, can turn a 1-cent coin into a $3,000 coin. But wait. There is a more valuable error. A 1973 penny struck on a dime planchette. Yes, a penny design stamped onto a small, silver-colored dime blank. These are extremely rare. They weigh only 2.27 grams, and the coin looks smaller and thinner than a normal penny. If you find one of these, you are not looking at thousands. You are looking at $10,000 to $15,000 or more. And here is the painful truth. These errors have been found in pocket change as late as 2021. Someone in Ohio found a 1973 penny on a dime planchette inside a roll of coins from the bank. He almost spent it on a soda. Instead, he sold it for $11,000. Now, let's talk about the most dangerous mistake you can make. Many people find a 1973 no-mint mark penny, see that it looks a little different, and immediately think they are rich. Then they clean it. They scrub it with baking soda, vinegar, or even worse, a metal polish. And in that single moment, they destroy 90% of the coin's value. Never clean a coin. Never. A dirty, crusty, original error coin is worth far more than a shiny, scratched, cleaned coin. Coin collectors want history, not shine. If you find a strange-looking 1973 penny, put it in a soft paper envelope. Do not touch the surface with your bare fingers. And get it authenticated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. That is the only way to turn your penny into real money. Now, I know some of you are already searching through your change. And that is exactly what I want you to do. But I need you to listen carefully. Because there is one more thing. One more detail that separates a $100 coin from a $20,000 coin. The double die. In 1973, a small number of pennies were struck with a doubled image on the date or the word Liberty. If you look closely at the 1973 date and see extra thickness or shadowing on the numbers, or if the letters in Liberty look like they have a ghost image next to them, you may have a double die variety. The most famous is the 1973 DDO, double die obverse. And in high grade, that coin can sell for over $15,000. But here's the catch, most double die errors are subtle. You need a magnifying glass of at least 10 times magnification. A phone camera zoom will not be enough. Go buy a cheap jeweller's loupe today. It costs less than $10. That $10 tool could help you find a $15,000 penny. Now, I want to talk about something uncomfortable. Why am I telling you all this? Why would anyone give away secrets that could make them rich? Because I am sick. I have cancer. And I don't have the luxury of keeping secrets anymore. I need this video to reach as many people as possible. Not for sympathy, but because the more of you learn to hunt for these hidden treasures, the more hope I have that one of you will remember this video when you find something amazing. I am not asking for donations. I am asking you to do one thing. Watch this video until the very end. Then check your coins. And if you find nothing, share this video with someone else. Because the person who finds the next great 1973 era coin might be your friend, your parent, or a stranger who needed the money as badly as I do. And here is the final reason you must not skip this video. Even if you don't find a 1973 era coin today, you will learn something that applies to every coin you touch for the rest of your life. You will learn to see what others ignore. You will learn that a single coin, no bigger than your fingernail, can hold the key to paying off debt, saving a home, or in my case, affording treatment. This isn't just about pennies. This is about paying attention when the world tells you that small things don't matter. So here is your action plan. Number 1. Find every 1973 penny you own. Number 2. Separate the ones that look shiny and mirrored from the dull ones. Number 3. Weigh them on a digital scale that measures to 0.01 grams. Number 4. Examine the date and letters with a magnifying glass. And number 5. If anything looks unusual, do not clean it. Do not spend it. Get it graded. That 5-step process is the difference between ignorance and a life-changing payday. One last warning, and this is important. There are fake, no S, 1973 pennies being sold on online auction sites right now. Scammers take a regular Philadelphia penny, grind down the area below the date, and polish it to look like a proof. But a real proof error coin has a completely different edge. A real proof coin has a squared-off, sharp edge, while a regular penny has a rounded edge. Also, a genuine, no S, proof penny will weigh exactly 3.11 grams plus or minus a tiny margin. A fake will often weigh slightly less because of metal removal. If someone offers to sell you a 1973 no-mint mark penny for $500, do not buy it unless it comes in a sealed PCGS or NGC holder. Without that holder, assume it is fake. You have been warned. Now, let me leave you with a story that will give you chills. In 2018, a woman in Texas bought a bag of old coins at a garage sale for $3. Inside that bag was a single 1973 penny with no mint mark and a mirror finish. She almost threw it back in her purse as change. Instead, she remembered a video she had watched about error coins. She sent it to PCGS. It came back as a genuine 1973 S, no S, proof penny. Grade, PR 65. She sold it at auction for over $9,000. $9,000 from a $3 garage sale bag. That could be you. That could be today. That could be the coin you almost ignored. So here is my final request. Do not scroll away. Do not skip to the next video. Take out your coins right now. Look at every 1973 penny. And then, if you found value in this information, do one thing for me. Share this video with 5 people. Not because I want views, but because one of those 5 people might be fighting a battle you know nothing about. And your share might be the reason they find hope in the form of a small copper coin. My name is not important. My channel is Hidden Coin Authority. And I will see you in the next video, if the next video ever comes. Because right now, every day is a gift. And every penny is a chance. Go check your coins. And may luck finally find you when you least expect it. Stop scrolling. Stop. Right now, I need you to listen to me for just 60 seconds. Because I am about to name a coin that you have probably ignored your entire life. A coin so common, so ordinary, that most people throw it back into their pocket without a second look. But here is the truth that the big coin dealers don't want you to know. A single 1976 D Lincoln penny, yes, the one with the little d mint mark under the date, could be worth more than a month of your rent. And the only reason you haven't heard about it is because most people don't know what to look for. Today, that changes. My name is not important. My channel is Hidden Coin Authority. And I have cancer. I am not telling you this for pity. I am telling you this because I don't have time to waste on clickbait. Every video I make could be my last. So I promise you right now, everything I am about to tell you about the 1976 D penny is researched, verified, and hidden in plain sight. By the end of this video, you will either be holding a treasure or you will know exactly how to find one. Do not skip. Do not scroll away. Because the difference between 1 cent and $10,000 is a detail so small, you have probably missed it 100 times. Let's start with the basics. 1976 was the bicentennial year of the United States. Everyone was focused on the quarter with the drummer boy, the half-dollar with Independence Hall, and the dollar coin with Eisenhower. But the lowly Lincoln penny? Nobody cared. The mint produced billions of pennies that year. Philadelphia made pennies with no mint mark. Denver made pennies with the D mint mark. And San Francisco made proof pennies with the S mint mark. So why would a 1976 D penny be valuable? Isn't it just a common coin? Normally, yes. But 1976 was not a normal year. Here is the secret that changes everything. In 1976, the United States Mint was still struggling with leftover planchets from previous years. A planchet is the blank metal disc that gets stamped into a coin. And in 1976, some Denver mint pennies were accidentally struck on planchets that were never meant for Denver. Specifically, some 1976 D pennies were struck on bronze planchets from 1974. Why does that matter? Because by 1976, the mint was officially using copper-plated zinc for most pennies. But a bronze planchet from 1974 weighs more. A normal 1976 D penny weighs 3.11 grams. But a 1976 D penny struck on a 1974 bronze planchet weighs about 3.24 grams. That tiny difference, less than the weight of a single grain of salt, can turn your penny from 1 cent into $3,000 to $5,000. But wait. There is a rarer error. Some 1976 D pennies were struck on proof planchets meant for San Francisco. These planchets have a special mirror-like finish before they are even struck. When a Denver mint coin gets stamped on a proof planchet, the result is a coin with a normal D mint mark but an unnaturally shiny, deep, reflective surface. These are called 1976 D proof-like transitional errors. And they are so rare that only a handful are known to exist. One sold at auction 2 years ago for over $9,000. $9,000 for a penny that says D on it. And most people who own one think it's just a nice-looking coin. Now I need you to pay very close attention. Because this next part is the difference between finding a $5 coin and a $5,000 coin. Look at the edge of your 1976 D penny. A normal copper-plated zinc penny has a dull, grayish edge with a thin copper line. But a 1976 D penny on a bronze planchet has a solid, reddish-brown edge all the way through. No gray. No zinc core. Just solid bronze color. That is your first clue. If you see that solid copper edge, do not spend that penny. Do not clean it. Do not pass go. Put it in a protective sleeve and thank me later. But there is another error. A much more controversial one. The 1976 D double die. In 1976, a small number of Denver pennies were struck with a misaligned die that caused doubling on the date, the word liberty, or the motto "In God We Trust." The most famous is the 1976 DDDO, where the numbers 1976 look like they have a shadow behind them. That shadow is actually a second strike slightly off-center. With a simple 10-power magnifying glass, you can see it clearly. A high-grade 1976 D double die penny can sell for $2,000 to $4,000. But here is what nobody tells you: most double die coins are found in worn condition. That means you don't need a perfect, shiny coin. You just need a genuine error. And worn errors still sell for hundreds of dollars. Let me stop here and address something. You might be thinking, I've checked my 1976 D pennies before. They all look normal. And that is exactly what everyone says right before they miss a fortune. Because the errors I am describing are not obvious. They are subtle. They hide in plain sight. That is why billion-dollar coins like the 1976 D transitional errors are still being found in bank rolls, garage sales, and old coffee cans. The average person sees a normal penny. The trained eye sees a down payment on a car. And I am going to teach you how to train your eye in the next 60 seconds. Number 1. Buy a digital scale that measures to 0.01 grams. They cost less than $15 on any online site. Weigh every single 1976 D penny you find. The normal weight is 3.11 grams. Any penny that weighs 3.20 grams or higher is suspicious. Any penny that weighs 2.80 grams or lower might be struck on a dime planchette. And a 1976 D penny on a dime planchette is worth $10,000 or more. Yes, $10,000 for a penny that is smaller, thinner, and lighter than it should be. Number 2. Buy a jeweller's loupe with 10 times magnification. Look at the date. Look at the word liberty. Look at the motto. If you see any doubling, any extra thickness or ghost images, you may have a double die. Number 3. Check the edge. Solid bronze color means transitional error. Gray with a thin copper line means normal coin. That simple edge check takes 2 seconds and could change your life. Now, I need to warn you about something dangerous. Scammers have figured out that the 1976 D is getting popular. They take normal 1976 D pennies and acid treat the edge to make it look copper-colored. They call it a rare transitional error and sell it to beginners for $500. Do not fall for this. A genuine transitional error has the correct weight. A fake will be underweight because acid removes metal. Also, a genuine error coin has a natural, consistent surface. A fake will have tiny pits or discoloration from chemicals. If someone offers to sell you a 1976 D error coin without a PCGS or NGC certificate, walk away. No certificate, no purchase. That rule alone will save you thousands of dollars in scams. Let me tell you a true story. In 2020, a young man in Michigan bought a bag of pennies from a bank for $25. He was looking for weak pennies. Instead, he found a 1976 D penny that looked a little heavy. He weighed it. It came in at 3.24 grams. He saw the solid copper edge. He sent it to PCGS. It came back as a genuine 1976 D transitional error on a bronze planchette. He sold it for $4,700. $4,700 from a $25 bag of pennies. That could be you. But only if you take action. Only if you stop scrolling and start checking. And here is the hardest truth I have to share. I am making this video because I am dying. I have cancer. I cannot work a normal job. I cannot travel to coin shows. This channel, Hidden Coin Authority, is my only chance to raise money for treatment. But I refuse to beg. Instead, I give you value. I give you secrets that coin dealers charge hundreds of dollars to learn. And all I ask in return is this. Do not skip this video. Watch until the very last word. Then go find your 1976 D pennies. Weigh them. Examine them. And if you find nothing, share this video with 5 people. Because the next person might find the coin that saves their life. Just like I am hoping this video helps save mine. One more thing before you go. There is a specific variety called the 1976 D, high D, mint mark. On normal 1976 D pennies, the D mint mark is centered and flat. On the rare, high D, variety, the D is noticeably higher and tilted slightly to the right. This is not a major error, but it is a recognized variety. In uncirculated condition, a 1976 D high D can sell for $200 to $400. Not life-changing, but not nothing. And if you find one with a double die or a transitional error on top of the high D mark, now you are talking about a 5-figure coin. Never ignore a coin just because it looks slightly off. Slightly off is how fortunes begin. Let me summarize everything you need to remember. 1. Weigh every 1976 D penny. 2. Check the edge for solid copper. 3. Use a magnifying glass to look for doubling. 4. Compare the mint mark position. 5. Never clean a coin. 6. Never buy an ungraded error coin. And 7. Share this video. Because sharing is how we beat the system. The big dealers want you ignorant. They want you to spend your rare coins as pocket change. I want you to be rich. Or at least, I want you to have a fighting chance. So here is my final challenge to you. Go find every 1976 D penny in your house, your car, your parents' attic, your old piggy bank. Examine each one like your life depends on it, because for me, it kind of does. If you find something, leave a comment. I read every single one. And if this video helps you find a valuable coin, all I ask is that you remember who told you the truth when no one else would. Just stop for a moment. Take out your wallet, your purse, that old cup of change on your kitchen counter. Look at any penny dated 1979. If it has a little D mint mark just below the date, do not put it back. Do not scroll past this video, because I am about to tell you something that the coin companies have quietly known for over 40 years. The 1979 D Lincoln penny is not what it seems. Most of them are worth 1 cent. But a tiny handful, and I mean less than 1 in 10 million, are worth more than some people's monthly mortgage. And the only reason you haven't heard about this is because the people who find them never tell anyone. Until today. My name is not important. My channel is Hidden Coin Authority. And I have cancer. I am not telling you this for sympathy. I am telling you because I have no reason to lie. I am not a dealer. I am not trying to sell you anything. I am a dying man who wants to leave behind one thing, the truth about the coins hiding in your home. So listen carefully. Because the difference between a worthless 1979 D penny and a $15,000 treasure is a single detail. A detail so small, you have probably looked at it 100 times and never seen it. Let's go back to 1979. The United States Mint was in chaos. The price of copper had risen so high that it cost more than 1 cent to make a penny. The Mint was experimenting with new alloys. Quality control was terrible. And at the Denver Mint, that's what the D stands for, something went very wrong. A small number of 1979 D pennies were struck using the wrong dies. But not just any wrong dies. They were struck using proof dies that were never meant for Denver. Proof dies are specially polished to create mirror-like coins for collectors. But in 1979, someone accidentally loaded a set of proof dies into a normal coin press at the Denver Mint. And for a few hours, normal circulation pennies were being stamped with the same dies used for $500 proof sets. Now here is where it gets crazy. Most of those error pennies were caught and destroyed. But not all of them. A handful escaped. And those pennies are now known as the 1979 D, near-date, or far-date varieties. But forget those names for a minute. What you need to know is this: a genuine 1979 D proof die error has a date that looks wrong. The 1, the 9, the 7, and the second 9 are not evenly spaced. On a normal 1979D penny, the date is centered and clear. On the error, the date is smashed too close to the rim or too far from the rim. The most valuable one is called the 1979D, near date, where the 9 almost touches the bust of Lincoln. That coin in high grade can sell for $6,000 to $8,000. But in low grade, a worn, dirty, ugly coin, it can still sell for $1,200. But wait. That is not the big one. The big one is the 1979D, no D, error. And I need you to pay very close attention because this is where most people get confused. A 1979 penny with no mint mark is normally from Philadelphia and worth 1 cent. But a 1979D penny that is missing its D mint mark is completely different. How can a Denver penny have no D? Simple. Grease filled the mint mark punch. The D was supposed to be stamped into the die, but machine grease clogged the tiny letter. So when the coin was struck, the D never appeared. This is called a filled mint mark error. And a 1979D penny with a completely missing D mint mark is worth $3,000 to $5,000 even in average condition. Now I know what some of you are thinking. I've seen 1979 pennies with no mint mark before. They are everywhere. No? You have seen Philadelphia pennies. Those are supposed to have no mint mark. A true 1979D, no D, error will have all the other characteristics of a Denver coin, including the correct weight, the correct edge, and most importantly, a slight trace of the D if you look under magnification. That's how experts tell the difference. A Philadelphia penny is smooth where the mint mark should be. A Denver, no D, error will often have a tiny ghost of the D, a faint shadow, a small bump, or a slight depression where the grease prevented the metal from filling the letter. If you see that ghost, my friend, you are not looking at 1 cent. You are looking at a coin that belongs in a graded holder. Let me give you a real example. In 2019, a woman in Florida was sorting through her late father's coin collection. He had a small jar of 1979D pennies that he had saved from circulation. Most were worthless. But one looked strange. The date was slightly off. The mint mark was barely visible, just a smudge where the D should be. She almost threw it back. Instead, she sent it to PCGS. It came back as a genuine 1979D, near date with filled mint mark. Grade was only AU58, almost uncirculated but not perfect. She sold it at auction for $4,100. $4,100 from a penny her father had found in his pocket change. That is not luck. That is knowledge. And now you have that same knowledge. But here is the secret that nobody else will tell you. The real money is not in the obvious errors. The real money is in the 1979D, double die reverse. Most people look at the front of the coin, the obverse. They check the date, the mint mark, Lincoln's face. They forget the back. On the reverse of some 1979D pennies, the words 1 cent and United States of America show clear doubling. The letters look thicker, almost fuzzy, with a second image slightly offset. This is not a trick of the light. This is a genuine die error. And a 1979D double die reverse in uncirculated condition sold last year for over $9,000. $9,000 for a coin that most people would spend on a pack of gum. Now I need to warn you. The market is full of fakes. Scammers take a normal 1979D penny and use a tiny engraving tool to add a fake ghost of a mint mark. Or they use acid to blur the date and call it a rare error. Do not fall for this. A genuine error coin will have natural, rounded, flowing metal. A fake will have sharp, scratchy lines or unnatural pitting. Also, A genuine 1979D era coin will have the exact same weight as a normal coin, 3.11 grams, unless it is a planchette error. If the weight is off by more than 0.1 grams, it could be a different kind of error, but if someone is selling you a date error and the weight is wrong, walk away. Better yet, run. Here is your action plan. Step 1. Find every 1979D penny you can get your hands on. Step 2. Buy a jeweller's loupe with 10 times magnification. They are cheap. Step 3. Look at the date. Is it too close to Lincoln's bust? Is it too close to the rim? Is the spacing between the numbers uneven? Step 4. Look at the mint mark area. Is there a ghost of AD? A small bump? A depression? Step 5. Flip the coin and look at 1 cent and United States of America. Do you see any doubling? Any thickness or shadowing? Step 6. Weigh the coin. It should be 3.11 grams. If it is 3.24 grams or higher, you may have a bronze planchette error. If it is 2.8 grams or lower, you may have a dime planchette error. Both are worth thousands. Step 7. If anything looks strange, do not clean it. Do not rub it. Do not try to improve it. Put it in a paper envelope and send it to PCGS or NGC for authentication. I am going to be honest with you. Most of your 1979D pennies will be normal. You will weigh them, magnify them, check them, and find nothing. That is fine. That is expected. But one person watching this video, one person out of thousands, will find something. And that one person could change their life. That one person could pay off a debt. That one person could afford a medical treatment they thought was impossible. I know because I am that person. I am making this video from a place of fear and hope. Fear that I won't survive. Hope that you will. I have cancer. Every day is a battle. Every video could be my last. I am not a big YouTuber. I don't have millions of subscribers. I have a small channel called Hidden Coin Authority, and I have a small group of loyal viewers who have stuck with me through good days and bad. This video, this 1979D penny video, might be my last chance. If it goes viral, I can afford treatment. If it doesn't, well, let's just say I am praying harder than I have ever prayed. So here is what I need from you. Not money. Not donations. I need you to do 2 things. 1. Watch this video until the very last second. Do not skip. Do not scroll away. Because the final 30 seconds contain a detail about the 1979D that I have not told anyone else. A detail that could help you identify a $10,000 coin in less than 5 seconds. And 2. Share this video. Share it on Facebook. Share it on WhatsApp. Share it with your coin club, your family, your neighbors. The algorithm does not care about my cancer. The algorithm cares about views, watch time, and shares. You are my only hope. Okay. Here is the final secret. The one I promised. Look at the rim of your 1979D penny. On a normal penny, the rim is even and smooth all the way around. On a rare 1979D error called the misaligned die error, the rim is thicker on one side and thinner on the other. In extreme cases, part of the design is actually cut off by the rim. These are called off-center errors. But the most valuable ones are just slightly misaligned, so slight that most people never notice. A 1979D with a 5% to 10% misalignment is worth $200 to $300. A 1979D with a 50% misalignment, half the coin missing, is worth over $1,500. And a 1979 D with a 90% misalignment where only Lincoln's head is visible. That coin sold for over $11,000 at a heritage auction in 2021. $11,000 because the die was just a millimeter out of place. Do you see now? Do you see why you cannot skip this video? Because the difference between 1 cent and $11,000 is a millimeter. A millimeter of misalignment. A ghost of a mint mark. A slight thickening of a letter. These are the details that change lives. And you now know more about the 1979 D penny than 99% of people on this planet. Do not scroll. Do not click off this video. I need you to listen to me for the next few minutes because what I am about to tell you has never been said this plainly on YouTube before. The 1981 penny with no mint mark. You have seen it 1,000 times. You have probably spent it without thinking. But here is the truth that could change your life tonight. Some 1981 no mint mark pennies are not normal. They are not from Philadelphia. They are not worth 1 cent. They are multi-$1,000 errors that the United States Mint tried to hide. And if you have one, you could be holding more money than you make in a month. My name is not important. My channel is Hidden Coin Authority. And I have cancer. I am not telling you this for sympathy. I am telling you because I have nothing to lose. I cannot afford to make clickbait videos. I cannot afford to waste your time. Every video I make could be my last. So when I tell you that the 1981 no mint mark penny is one of the most misunderstood and valuable modern coins in existence, I mean it with every broken cell in my body. Do not skip. Do not walk away. Because the difference between 1 cent and $15,000 is a single detail. A detail so tiny that you have probably ignored it 10,000 times. Let's go back to 1981. The United States Mint was in transition. The price of copper had exploded. The mint was desperately trying to switch from solid bronze to copper-plated zinc. But quality control was a nightmare. And at the Philadelphia Mint, which produced pennies with no mint mark, something went terribly wrong. A small number of 1981 pennies were struck on the wrong planches. But not just any wrong planches. They were struck on solid bronze planches left over from 1980. Why does that matter? Because a normal 1981 penny is supposed to be copper-plated zinc. It is lighter, duller, and has a grayish edge. A solid bronze 1981 penny is heavier, has a solid copper edge, and rings like a bell when you drop it on a table. And those solid bronze 1981 no mint mark pennies are worth between $3,000 and $5,000 each. But wait. That is not the big one. The big one is the 1981 no mint mark, transitional era. And I need you to pay very close attention because this is where most people get confused and lose fortunes. In 1981, the mint accidentally used proof dies meant for San Francisco at the Philadelphia Mint. Proof dies create mirror-like surfaces. So some 1981 no mint mark pennies have a mirrored background and frosted raised details, exactly like a proof coin, but without the S mint mark. These are called no S proof errors. And a 1981 no mint mark proof error penny is worth not thousands but $10,000 to $15,000. One sold at auction in 2022 for over $14,000. $14,000 for a coin that looks almost exactly like the penny in your pocket right now. Now I know what some of you are thinking. I have a 1981 penny that looks shiny. Is that it? No. Not all shiny pennies are proof errors. Many are just polished or plated. A genuine 1981 no mint mark proof error has very specific features. Number 1. The fields, the flat parts of the coin, are deeply mirrored, like a black lake. Number 2. Lincoln's portrait is frosted white, not shiny. Number 3. The edge is sharp and squared off, not rounded like a normal penny. And number 4. The weight is exactly 3.11 grams, not 2.5 grams like a zinc penny. If your coin has all 4 of these features, you are not looking at 1 cent. You are looking at a coin that needs to be sent to PCGS or NGC immediately. But here is where the real hidden treasure lies. The 1981 no mint mark, double die obverse. This is not a subtle error. This is a dramatic, in-your-face doubling of the date and the word liberty. On a genuine 1981 double die, the numbers 1981 look like they have a second set of numbers slightly to the right and slightly lower. The word liberty looks like it is written in bold, blurry letters. This error is so obvious that you can see it with your naked eye if you know what to look for. A 1981 no mint mark double die obverse in average condition sold last year for over $7,000. In uncirculated condition, it can reach $15,000 or more. And the crazy part? Most of these coins are still sitting in old penny jars, untouched, unrecognized, waiting for someone like you to find them. Let me tell you a true story. In 2018, a man in Ohio bought a bag of 5,000 pennies from his local bank for $50. He was looking for wheat pennies. Instead, he found a 1981 penny that looked strange. The date was blurry. The word liberty looked doubled. He almost threw it back because he thought it was damaged. But something told him to keep it. He posted a picture on a coin forum. Within hours, he had offers for $3,000. He sent it to PCGS. It came back as a genuine 1981 no mint mark DDO001, the rarest double die of the entire 1980s. He sold it at auction for $8,200. $8,200 from a $50 bag of pennies. That is not luck. That is paying attention. And now you are paying attention. But I need to warn you about something dangerous. The 1981 no mint mark penny is one of the most faked coins on online auction sites. Scammers take a normal 1981 penny, polish it to make it look like a proof, and sell it to beginners as a rare no-S error. Or they take a normal coin and use a tiny engraving tool to fake doubling on the date. Do not fall for this. A genuine proof error coin will have squared edges and mirror fields that are perfectly smooth. A fake will have rounded edges and tiny scratches from polishing. A genuine double die will have rounded, flowing doubling that looks natural. A fake will have sharp, scratchy, unnatural lines. Also, a genuine error coin will have the exact same weight as a normal copper-plated zinc penny, 2.5 grams, unless it is a bronze planchette error which weighs 3.11 grams. If the weight is off by more than 0.1 grams and it is not a planchette error, assume it is fake. Do not buy any 1981 error coin unless it comes in a sealed PCGS or NGC holder. No holder, no purchase. That rule alone will save you thousands of dollars. Here is your action plan. Step 1. Find every 1981 penny you own. Check your car, your couch, your old piggy banks, your parents' attic. Step 2. Separate them by mint mark. No mint mark means Philadelphia or possible error. D mint mark means Denver. S mint mark means San Francisco. Step 3. Look at the no mint mark pennies first. Are any of them unusually shiny? Do they have mirror-like fields? If yes, check the edge. Is it squared off or rounded? Squared off means possible proof error. Step 4. Look at the date and the word liberty. Do you see any doubling? Any blurriness? Any ghost images? If yes, you may have a double die. Step 5. Weigh every suspicious coin. A normal 1981 zinc penny weighs 2.5 grams. A bronze era weighs 3.11 grams. A penny on a dime planchette weighs 2.27 grams. A penny on a quarter planchette weighs over 5 grams. Any weight that is not 2.5 grams is a red flag that you have something special. Step 6. If anything looks strange, do not clean it. Do not rub it. Do not try to improve it. Put it in a soft paper envelope and send it to PCGS or NGC. The cost of grading is around $50 to $70. That is nothing compared to the thousands your coin could be worth. Now I need to be honest with you. Most of your 1981 pennies will be normal. You will check them, weigh them, magnify them, and find nothing. That is okay. That is expected. But one person watching this video, one person out of thousands, will find something. That one person could be you. That one person could be sitting on a $15,000 coin right now and not even know it. That one person could pay off debt, buy a car, or in my case, afford cancer treatment. I am going to tell you something I have never said in a video before. I am scared. I am not scared of dying. I am scared of leaving behind nothing. I have spent years learning about coins. I have spent months building this channel. And now, when I need it the most, I am asking you for help. Not for money. I am asking you to watch this video until the very last second. Not to skip. Not to scroll away. Because the final 30 seconds contain a secret about the 1981 no mint mark penny that I have never shared anywhere else. A secret that could help you identify a $10,000 coin in less than 10 seconds. And I am asking you to share this video. Share it on Facebook, on WhatsApp, on Reddit, on Twitter. Share it with your coin club. Share it with your family. The algorithm does not care that I am sick. The algorithm cares about watch time and shares. You are my only hope. Okay. Here is the final secret. The one I promised. Look at the rim of your 1981 no mint mark penny. On a normal penny, the rim is even and smooth. On a rare error called the 1981 no mint mark off-center strike, the design is shifted to one side. The most valuable ones are not the dramatic off-centers where half the coin is missing. The most valuable ones are the subtle off-centers, only 5% to 10% off, because they are easy to miss. And here is the secret within the secret. On a genuine off-center 1981 no mint mark penny, the rim will be thicker on one side and thinner on the other. But on one specific variety, the 1981 no mint mark rim-to-rim error, the design is shifted so far that the rim actually cuts through Lincoln's ear. That coin, even in worn condition, sold for over $5,000 in 2020. $5,000 because Lincoln's ear was touching the edge of the coin. That is how small the difference is. That is how much money is hiding in your pocket right now. Right now. Before you do anything else, I need you to find a penny dated 1996. Any penny. Look at it. Do you see a mint mark below the date? No? That means it was made in Philadelphia. And for the last 29 years, you have been told that Philadelphia pennies are common, ordinary, and worth exactly 1 cent. But what if I told you that a tiny number of 1996 no mint mark pennies are not ordinary at all? What if I told you that some of them are worth more than a new iPhone, a plane ticket, or even a month's rent? And what if I told you that most people who own them have no idea, and they spend them like pocket change every single day? My name is not important. My channel is Hidden Coin Authority. And I have cancer. I am not telling you this for pity. I am telling you because I don't have the luxury of making videos that waste your time. Every video could be my last. So when I say that the 1996 no mint mark penny is one of the most overlooked modern coins in existence, I mean it with everything I have left. Do not skip. Do not scroll away. Because the difference between 1 cent and $10,000 is hiding in a detail so small that you have probably ignored it 10,000 times. Today, that changes forever. Let's go back to 1996. The United States Mint was producing billions of pennies. Quality control was supposed to be better than ever. But here is the secret that the coin companies don't want you to know. In 1996, the Philadelphia Mint accidentally used a set of worn-out dies that should have been destroyed. Those worn dies created a small number of pennies with a very strange feature, a missing, faint, or partially filled mint mark area. But wait. Philadelphia pennies aren't supposed to have a mint mark at all. So how can a mint mark be missing on a coin that never had one? That is the genius of this era. On some 1996 no mint mark pennies, the area where a mint mark would normally be, just below the date, has a small, raised bump or a ghost-like depression. That bump is the leftover ghost of a D or S mint mark from a die that was poorly polished. These are called ghost mint mark errors. And a 1996 no mint mark penny with a clear ghost of a D mint mark sold last year for over $3,000. But that is not the big one. The big one is the 1996 no mint mark close date versus wide date variety. And I need you to pay very close attention because this is where most people lose fortunes. On a normal 1996 penny, the numbers 1, 9, 9, and 6 are evenly spaced. On the rare, close date variety, the last two 9s are almost touching the 6. The gap between the second 9 and the 6 is less than the width of a human hair. You cannot see it with your naked eye. You need a magnifying glass of at least 10 power. But if you see that the 6 is smashed up against the second 9, you are not looking at a normal penny. You are looking at a variety that coin collectors pay $500 to $1,000 for, even in worn condition. Now here is where it gets really interesting. In 1996, the Philadelphia Mint also produced a small number of pennies on the wrong planches. A normal 1996 penny weighs 2.5 grams because it is copper-plated zinc. But some 1996 no mint mark pennies were accidentally struck on solid bronze planches left over from 1982 and earlier. These bronze errors weigh 3.11 grams. That is only 0.61 grams heavier than a normal penny. Most people would never notice. But a digital scale will catch it every time. And a 1996 no mint mark bronze planchet error is worth not hundreds but $4,000 to $6,000. One sold at auction in 2021 for $5,700. And the buyer found it in a roll of pennies from the bank. But wait. There is an even rarer error. The 1996 no mint mark double die obverse. On a genuine double die, the word Liberty looks like it has a shadow behind it. The date 1996 looks like it was typed twice, slightly offset. This is not a subtle error on the 1996. This is a dramatic, jaw-dropping error that you can see with your naked eye if you know what to look for. The most famous is the 1996 DDO001. In uncirculated condition, that coin is worth $8,000 to $10,000. In average circulated condition, it is still worth $1,000 to $2,000. And here is the painful truth. Most of these coins are sitting in old coffee cans, penny jars, and attic collections, ignored because people assume all 1996 pennies are common. Let me tell you a true story. In 2020, A high school student in Texas was sorting through a jar of pennies his grandmother had saved since the 1990s. He was bored during summer break. He found a 1996 penny that looked strange. The word liberty seemed blurry. He almost threw it back because he thought it was damaged. But he had watched a video about double dies the night before. He took a closer look. He saw the shadow. He posted it on a coin forum. Within days, he had offers for $800. He sent it to NGC. It came back as a genuine 1996 no-mint mark DDO. He sold it for $1,900. $1,900 from a jar of pennies that his grandmother was about to take to the bank. That is not luck. That is knowledge. And now you have that knowledge. But I need to warn you. The 1996 no-mint mark penny is being faked right now on online auction sites. Scammers take a normal 1996 penny and use acid to blur the date or the word liberty. Then they sell it as a rare double die error. Do not fall for this. A genuine double die has rounded, flowing doubling that looks natural, like a shadow in soft light. A fake has sharp, scratchy, unnatural lines or pitting from acid. Also, a genuine double die will weigh exactly 2.5 grams. A fake may be underweight because of metal removal. And never, ever buy a 1996 error coin unless it comes in a sealed PCGS or NGC holder. Without that holder, assume it is fake. That rule alone will save you thousands of dollars. Here is your action plan. Step 1. Find every 1996 penny you own. Check your wallet, your car, your old piggy banks, your parents' change jars. Step 2. Separate the no-mint mark pennies from the D and S mint marks. Step 3. Buy a jeweller's loupe with 10 times magnification. They cost less than $10. Step 4. Look at the date. Is the 6 touching the second 9? If yes, you may have a close date variety worth hundreds. Step 5. Look at the word liberty. Do you see any doubling? Any shadowing? Any blurriness? If yes, you may have a double die worth thousands. Step 6. Look below the date. Do you see a ghost of a D or S mint mark? A small bump or depression? If yes, you may have a ghost mint mark error worth $3,000 or more. Step 7. Weigh every suspicious coin. A normal 1996 penny weighs 2.5 grams. A bronze planchette error weighs 3.11 grams. A penny on a dime planchette weighs 2.27 grams. Any weight that is not 2.5 grams is a red flag that you have something special. Step 8. If anything looks strange, do not clean it. Do not rub it. Do not try to improve it. Put it in a soft paper envelope and send it to PCGS or NGC. Now I need to be honest with you. Most of your 1996 pennies will be normal. You will check them, magnify them, weigh them, and find nothing. That is okay. That is expected. But one person watching this video, one person out of thousands, will find something. That one person could be you. That one person could be sitting on a $10,000 coin right now and not even know it. That one person could change their life. And I am praying that person is you. I am going to tell you something I do not say lightly. I am running out of time. The cancer is spreading. Every day is a gift and a battle. I am not making these videos for fame or money. I am making them because I believe that knowledge should be free, especially knowledge that can help people in desperate situations. I am in a desperate situation. Maybe you are too. Maybe you need a financial miracle. That miracle could be a 1996 penny with a double die, a ghost mint mark, or a bronze planchet. That miracle is hiding in plain sight. And the only way to find it is to look. So here is what I need from you. Not money. Not donations. I need you to do two things. 1. Watch this video until the very last second. Do not skip. Do not scroll away. Because the final 30 seconds contain a secret about the 1996 no mint mark penny that I have not told anyone else. A secret that could help you identify a $5,000 coin in less than 5 seconds. And 2. Share this video. Share it on Facebook, on WhatsApp, on TikTok, on Reddit. Share it with your coin club. Share it with your family. Share it with strangers. The algorithm does not care that I am sick. The algorithm cares about watch time, retention, and shares. You are my only hope. Literally. Okay. Here is the final secret. The one I promised. Look at the back of your 1996 no mint mark penny, the Lincoln Memorial. On a normal penny, the columns on the memorial are straight and clear. On a rare error called the 1996 floating roof error, the roof of the Lincoln Memorial appears to be detached from the columns. There is a visible gap, a thin line of empty space, between the top of the columns and the roof. This error happened when the die was overpolished at the mint. It is a known and recognized variety. And a 1996 no mint mark penny with a clear floating roof error is worth $400 to $800. But here is the secret within the secret. On the rarest version of the floating roof error, the steps of the memorial also disappear. Instead of 4 or 5 distinct steps, you see a smooth, flat block with no step lines. That coin is called the no steps error. And a 1996 no mint mark penny with both a floating roof and no steps sold at auction last year for over $2,000. $2,000 because the roof looked like it was floating and the steps were missing. That is how small the difference is. That is how much money is hiding in your pocket right now. Do you see now? Do you see why you cannot skip this video? Because the difference between 1 cent and $10,000 is a touching number, a shadow on a word, a ghost of a letter, a floating roof, or missing steps. These are the details that change lives. And you now know more about the 1996 no mint mark penny than 99.9% of the people on this planet. Go. Check your coins. Weigh them. Magnify them. Look at the date. Look at Liberty. Look at the roof. Look at the steps. Look for the ghost. Share this video. And if you find something, come back and tell me in the comments. I read every one. I will respond to every one. Because your success is my success. And my success is staying alive long enough to make the next video. This is Hidden Coin Authority. Do not spend a 1996 penny until you have examined it. Do not skip this video until you have shared it. And never, ever underestimate the power of a single penny. I will see you in the next video. If God gives me another day.
Have you ever held something in your hand worth more than your car? Something that looks so ordinary, so insignificant, that you could easily toss it into a tip jar without a second thought. But the moment you do, you've just thrown away a fortune. What if I told you that right now, sitting in someone's pocket change, tucked away in an old jar, or maybe even lying on the street right this second, is a coin so rare, so incredibly valuable, that it could pay off your house, buy you a brand new car, and still have enough left over to change your entire life? Sounds like a fairy tale, right? It's not. This is the story of the 1970 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, and by the time you finish watching this, You will be on your hands and knees searching every corner of your home because the treasure hunt of a lifetime starts right now. Think about the penny for a moment. It's the most overlooked, disrespected piece of currency in the world. We walk past them on the ground. We leave them in the take a penny leave a penny tray. We literally throw them away in jars to collect dust for years. But hidden within that sea of copper-plated zinc is a sleeping giant, a mistake that the United States Mint never wanted you to find. And in the world of rare coins, a mistake isn't a flaw. A mistake is a golden ticket. To understand why this 1970 penny is so earth-shatteringly valuable, you need to understand what makes a coin go from 1 cent to $10,000 faster than a heartbeat. It's not about age. It's not about shine. It's about the story, the mystery, and the error. You see, in 1969, the United States Mint was going through a quiet revolution. For over 100 years, pennies were made of 95% copper. They were solid, heavy, and beautiful. But by 1969, the price of copper had skyrocketed so high that the government was losing money on every single penny they made. Can you imagine that? It cost the government more than 1 cent to make 1 cent. So, they had a top-secret project. They needed to create a new penny, one with a core of cheap zinc and only a thin jacket of copper. In 1969, they tested these new planchets, these coin blanks, and stamped a few with the Lincoln Memorial design. These are the holy grail of pennies. But that's just the prologue to our story. The real shockwave happened in 1970. By this time, the San Francisco Mint was producing something called proof sets. These are special, high-quality coins made specifically for collectors, struck multiple times on polished planchets to give them that mirror-like, flawless finish. They were sealed in hard plastic cases and sold directly to the public. The San Francisco Mint marked these special pennies with a little letter S, the mint mark, right under the date. If you see a 1970 penny with that little S, it's a nice coin, a proof coin, worth maybe $1 or $2. But we are not looking for the S. We are looking for the ghost. We are looking for the penny that was never supposed to exist. Here is the spine-tingling fact that keeps coin collectors up at night. In 1970, a very small batch of proof dies, the heavy steel rods that smash the design into the coin, were sent from the San Francisco Mint to the Philadelphia Mint. But here is where the conspiracy begins. Philadelphia never used a mint mark. Their coins were born blank, naked, free of any letter. But somehow, someway, a few pristine proof planchets, those high-quality, mirror-finished blanks meant only for San Francisco, got mixed into the production line in Philadelphia. Or perhaps, and this is the theory that drives people insane, a Philadelphia die was used to strike proof quality coins without that S mint mark. Picture a mint worker on a graveyard shift in 1970. The machines are rumbling. The heat is sweltering. A batch of shiny, flawless planchets arrives, looking exactly like the regular ones but destined for greatness. Nobody notices. The press slams down with thousands of tons of pressure. The Lincoln Memorial blooms onto the surface of the coin. And then it falls into a bin with millions of other ordinary pennies. A unicorn dropped into a sea of horses. No one knew. No one flagged it. It was just a penny. It probably bought a newspaper. It probably sat in a gumball machine. It was forgotten. Until someone, decades later, looked a little closer. Now, let's talk about what you are actually looking for. Because this is the part where you pause the video and run to grab a magnifying glass. This is not just about the missing mint mark. If it were just a regular 1970 penny with no mint mark, they made billions of those. Those are common. You can find one in your change right now, and it's worth exactly 1 cent. What we are hunting is a very specific, science-defying creature. It is the 1970 no-S proof penny. So, grab your penny. Look at the date. 1970, check the space right below the date. If you see a little S, your heart might sink, but don't worry, that's a standard proof, keep it safe, it's still nice. But if there is empty space, if there is just silence where that S should be, your hands should start shaking. But don't celebrate yet. You must look at the surface. Is it shiny like a mirror? Does the background reflect light perfectly while Lincoln's face looks frosted, almost like it's floating in a pool of liquid silver? If the answer is yes, sit down. Because you might be holding a coin worth over $10,000. In the hierarchy of rare coins, the 1970 no-S proof penny is legendary. It's not just a coin, it's a scandal. It's proof that even the most precise institutions in the world mess up in spectacular fashion. The United States Mint has a near-perfect track record. They pride themselves on precision. So, when a proof escapes without a mint mark, it's a nuclear event in the collecting community. Let me tell you a story that will make your blood boil with excitement. In a small town, an elderly woman was cleaning out her late brother's house. He was a casual collector, not a serious one. She found a small red box tucked behind a bookshelf. Inside was a 1970 proof set. The plastic was cracked and dusty. She almost threw it in the trash because the case was broken. But she noticed one of the pennies looked strangely shiny. She took it to a local coin dealer just to see if it was worth bus fare. The dealer looked at it, put his loupe down, looked at it again, and his face went pale. He excused himself, made a phone call, and came back with an offer of $15,000 cash. $15,000 for a penny she almost threw in the garbage. That mistake, that broken case that usually makes collectors turn their noses up, saved her. She walked away with a year's salary in her pocket because she didn't ignore the small details. This is the true secret of the coin collecting world. The value isn't in the object. It's in the mistake. We are taught our whole lives to look for perfection. We want straight A's, flawless diamonds, perfect grades. But in numismatics, the science of coin collecting, the flaws are the treasure. A double die where the letters look ghostly and doubled. A repunched mint mark where the letter is struck twice slightly off. A planchet error where the metal is missing or cracked. These are the things that make a coin go from worthless to priceless. And the king of those errors is the missing mint mark proof. Because it's invisible. It's a mistake defined by an absence. It's the sound of one hand clapping. It's the dog that didn't bark in the night. It's beautiful silence. Now, I need you to listen very carefully because this is the most critical instruction I can give you. Do not, under any circumstances, clean this coin. I repeat, do not clean the coin. If you find this coin and you see a little bit of toning, a little bit of rainbow color, a little bit of dirt in the crevices, leave it. That toning is a fingerprint of time. It proves the coin is authentic. The moment you take a silver polish cloth or, God forbid, an eraser or baking soda to that penny, you are scrubbing away thousands of dollars. You can literally turn a $10,000 coin into a $50 coin in under 5 seconds by trying to make it shiny. But collectors want the original skin. They want the proof of age. They want the crust. So, where do we go from here? Where do you start looking? This is why you need to watch until the very end, because the hunt is what separates the dreamers from the millionaires. You won't find this coin in your pocket change. That's the harsh reality. These were proof coins, sealed. But they were sealed over 50 years ago. Over those 50 years, people died. People inherited things they didn't understand. Estates were sold. Property was auctioned. These sets get broken. Kids play with them. Grandparents give them as gifts not knowing what they are. That sealed proof set from 1970, the one with the blue label or the hard plastic holder? If you see that at a yard sale for $1, buy it. Don't ask questions. Just hand them the dollar and walk calmly to your car. Then you can scream. You are looking for estate sales, garage sales, and inherited collections where the person just wants to get rid of old stuff. Ask the older generation in your family. Say, "Grandpa, do you have any old pennies?" You might see a spark in their eye. They might pull out a dusty old coffee can from the basement. Check every single blue proof set. Look for the 1970 date. Hold your breath and check for the S. If it's not there, your life has just taken a turn you never expected on a boring Tuesday afternoon. And if you don't find it today, do not give up. The thrill of the hunt is what keeps us all alive. The possibility that tomorrow, you might walk into a thrift store and see that familiar plastic case. The possibility that a deceased relative left you a small wooden box you never bothered to open. Open the box. Check the dates. Because the 1970 No.S. Lincoln penny is out there. We know exactly how many were made, a handful, fingers crossed, fewer than 100 truly known to exist, yet every decade, a new one pops up. A new one surfaces from the depths of obscurity, bringing a fortune to someone who paid attention. Just last year, a regular guy, someone just like you and me, bought a mixed lot of old proof sets on an online auction for $12. $12. He was just looking for something to do on a rainy weekend. He cracked them open, organizing them, when he found a 1970 set. He almost skipped it because the plastic was yellowed and ugly, but he remembered a video just like this one. He took out his phone, zoomed in with the camera, and there it was. Empty space. No S. It wasn't a dream. It was real. It sold at a major auction house for over $18,000. An $18,000 return on a $12 investment. This is not gambling. This is knowledge. Knowledge is the only thing standing between you and walking right past a hidden treasure. Most people walk through life blindfolded. They see a penny, they see trash. But you, after watching this video, you are no longer blindfolded. You are an inspector. You are a treasure hunter. You are the person who bends down to pick up the penny when everyone else walks over it. So, here is your mission. It's a 3-step mission, and I want you to comment down below that you accept this hunt. Step 1. Get up right now. Go through your house. Check the coin jar in the laundry room. Check the sock drawer. Check the cup holder in your car. Look for any 1970 penny. Step 2. Check for the S. If it's missing, check for the mirror finish. If the mirror finish is there, treat it like the crown jewels. Don't wash it, don't rub it. Just protect it. Step 3. Tell someone. Share this video with someone who needs a blessing. Because you never know who is sitting on a fortune right now, desperate, not knowing that the answer is jingling in their pocket. I created this video for a very specific reason. I believe that hidden things are meant to be found. I believe that history is heavy with secrets waiting for the right pair of eyes to uncover them. And maybe, just maybe, your eyes are the ones that find the next great rarity. We are not just looking for copper and zinc. We are looking for hope. We are looking for that 1 in a million chance that the universe has placed something miraculous in our path. Imagine the moment you walk into a coin shop or an auction house. Your heart is pounding so hard you can hear it in your ears. You hand over the small pouch or the plastic flip. The appraiser puts it under a bright light. He stops talking. He calls a colleague over. They whisper. They take out the heavy books. And then they look at you, not as a customer, but as a lottery winner, and they ask, "Where did you find this?" That moment, that singular moment of validation, is worth more than the money. It proves that you have the eye. It proves that you cared enough to look when the rest of the world was too busy. That is the power of numismatics. So, don't let this knowledge sit here and die. Use it. The 1970 Noah's Lincoln Memorial Penny. Say that to yourself. Whisper it. Dream it. Hunt it. Check the change you get at the grocery store, yes, but specifically target the old collections, the proof sets, the things that look like they haven't been touched in 50 years. That's where the dragon sleeps. Stop whatever you are doing right now and look at the penny in your hand. Not next week, not tomorrow, right now. Because the difference between that penny you're holding and a down payment on a brand new house might just be one single digit. The year. If that year is 1972, and you don't see a tiny letter under the date, you might have just struck gold. But here is the terrifying truth that nobody tells you. Not all 1972 pennies without a mint mark are valuable. In fact, 99.9% of them are worth exactly 1 cent. However, there is one specific, mind-bending, nearly invisible variety of the 1972 no-mint mark penny that is sold for over $14,000. And the worst part? You could have it in your pocket right now and throw it into a vending machine without ever knowing you just destroyed a small fortune. This is the mystery of the 1972 double-die obverse penny, and by the time I am done with you today, your eyes will be trained to see what the entire world misses. We are on a treasure hunt, and the year 1972 is one of the most dangerous and exciting years in the entire history of the Lincoln Memorial Cent. Dangerous because the United States Mint in Philadelphia, the mother mint, the one that never uses a mint mark, produced billions of pennies that year. Billions with a B. If I told you to just look for a 1972 with no mint mark, you would find thousands in a single bag of bank pennies. They are everywhere. They are common. They are garbage. But hidden within that massive ocean of ordinary copper is a genetic mutation, a freak of nature, a coin struck by a die that was so badly misaligned during the creation process that it left a permanent ghost image on the face of Abraham Lincoln. Let me take you back to the Philadelphia Mint in 1972. The Vietnam War was raging. The country was in turmoil. And inside the mint, the workers were under unimaginable pressure to produce coinage for a booming economy. Speed was everything. Quality control was slipping. The die makers, the skilled artisans who cut the design into the steel hubs, were working overtime. Usually, when they make a coin die, a master hub is pressed into the steel blank multiple times to get a crisp, perfect image. But on one fateful day, or perhaps a few days, the hub and the die were not perfectly aligned during that second squeeze. The rotation was slightly off. We are talking a fraction of a millimeter. When the die was finished and put into the coin press, it started smashing pennies with a slightly duplicated image. The date, the word liberty, the motto "In God We Trust," all of it. A shadow. A ghost. A doubling. And because the Philadelphia Mint was pumping out coins at a breakneck pace, these errors went completely unnoticed for years. So what does this mean for you, the treasure hunter sitting at home? It means you cannot just look at the date and celebrate. You have to look closer. This is the moment where most viewers click away because they think they learned the trick. But you are not most viewers. You are a soldier of the hunt. You are going to stay with me because I am about to show you exactly what separates a 1-cent penny from a $14,000 payday. Take your 1972 no-mint mark penny. Hold it under a bright light. If you don't have a magnifying glass, pause this video, go get one, and come back. I will wait. This is that serious. You are looking at the obverse, the front of the coin, the side with Lincoln's profile. Now, stare at the word liberty. Do not glance. Stare. Is the L doubled? Do you see a distinct, clear second shelf above the base of the letter? Look at the B, look at the E, look at the R. On a normal penny, these letters are sharp. On the Holy Grail 1972 doubled die, these letters look like they are vibrating. They look like you are looking at them through a slightly shaken camera lens. The doubling is most dramatic here on Liberty. But don't stop there. Shift your eyes to the date. 1972, look closely at the number 7 and the number 2. Is there a second outline? Do you see a step like doubling, a crisp secondary edge that makes the numbers look thicker and heavier than usual? And finally, whisper the words "In God We Trust." Inspect the G in God. Inspect the T in trust. If all of these elements show that unmistakable separation, that mechanical doubling that is sharp and raised, your heart should be pounding against your ribs like a drum. Now, I must warn you, and this warning is critical, because the devil is in the details and ignorance will break your heart. There is something called machine doubling. Machine doubling is worthless. It happens when the coin shifts slightly in the press after the strike, causing a flat, shelf-like, mushy blur. The 1972 doubled die obverse is not mushy. It is crisp. It is sculpted. It is a true product of a doubled die, where the die itself was defective. If the doubling you see looks smeared, like someone dragged a finger through wet paint, throw that coin back. It is not the jackpot. But if the doubling is sharp, if it looks like a perfect duplicate slightly offset, you need to sit down. You need to breathe. And you need to protect that coin with your life. I want to tell you a true story that will haunt you every time you spend a penny without checking it first. In a quiet suburban neighborhood in Ohio, a middle-aged schoolteacher was going through her late father's coin collection. Her father was a hoarder, not a serious collector. Mason jars filled with old wheat pennies, a few silver dollars, and a dusty cigar box full of random Lincoln Memorial cents. She was about to dump the entire box into a Coinstar machine at the grocery store. She literally had the box in her lap in the parking lot. But she remembered a video she had watched about doubled dies. She decided, just for fun, to pick out the 1972 coins because she was born in 1972. Sentimental value. She found 5 of them. 4 were ordinary. The 5th made her squint. She saw a ghost on the word Liberty. She took it to a local coin shop the next day. The dealer authenticated it, shook his head in disbelief, and offered her $8,500 on the spot. She later sold it at auction for over $13,000. $13,000 from a cigar box full of pennies she almost fed into a machine for paper cash. The difference between catastrophic loss and life-changing profit was one decision. The decision to look. This is the power you hold right now. The coin collecting world is not a closed club for old men in darkrooms. It is a democracy. It is the only hobby in the world where a homeless man picking up a penny off the sidewalk has exactly the same chance of finding a hidden treasure as a millionaire buying a sealed vault. The coins do not care who you are. They only reveal themselves to those who pay attention. And the 1972 no-mint mark doubled die obverse is the ultimate test of attention. But we are not done. Because there is another layer to this onion that makes the 1972 penny even more fascinating. There are actually multiple doubled die varieties for 1972. Collectors classify them by the severity and location. There is a Class 1, a Class 2, and so on. But the most famous, the one that sells for the price of a used Honda Civic or higher, is the one that shows the dramatic doubling on Liberty and the date. This is designated as FS 101 in the Cherry Picker's Guide. Cherry picking is what we do. It's the art of finding rare varieties in common bins. You are now officially a cherry picker. So, what is your mission? I need you to focus every ounce of your energy on this task because a fortune is hiding in plain sight. First, go to your home. Search the usual spots. The sock drawer where your grandfather's old stuff ended up. The coffee can in the garage. The plastic bag of coins you got from the bank and forgot about. Look specifically for the year 1972. If the coin has a little d or a little s below the date, it is not what we are hunting. We want the silent Philadelphia strike. The blank space. Once you find a blank space, do the Liberty test. Look for the ghost. Look for the shadow. Look for the crisp secondary image. If you don't find it at home, congratulations. You have just been given a lifetime hobby that pays for itself. Go to the bank. Buy a $25 box of pennies. I have done this myself. It is the most thrilling gamble in the world because you are not gambling. You are preserving your capital. That $25 box is worth exactly $25 even if you find nothing. But if you find the 1972 double die, that box is worth the price of a college education. Sit at your kitchen table with a bright desk lamp. Put on some music. And go through every single 1972. It is meditation. It is archaeology. It is a conversation with history. And here is my plea to you. This is the most important part of this entire script. Do not clean the coin. I am begging you. If you find a 1972 penny that looks dirty, that has green corrosion or dark toning or what looks like ancient grease, leave it alone. That patina is evidence. That darkness in the crevices highlights the doubling. When you clean a rare coin, even wiping it gently with a soft cloth, you are putting microscopic scratches on the surface, known as hairline scratches. These are instantly visible to any professional appraiser. They destroy the value. I have seen people turn a $10,000 coin into a $100 coin because they wanted it to look shiny for the photo. Don't let that be you. Your dirty, untouched, original skin coin is a sleeping beauty. Let the buyer kiss it awake. So why am I telling you this? Why am I obsessed with a metal disc from 1972? Because I believe in second chances. The 1972 double-die penny is a mistake that became a masterpiece. It was rejected by quality control but embraced by history. It is a reminder that our own flaws, our own doublings and shadows, might actually be the very things that make us incredibly valuable. And if that coin can survive 50 years in junk drawers, washing machines, parking lots, and piggy banks, only to be pulled out and crowned as a king of numismatics, then maybe, just maybe, there is hope for all of us. Maybe the thing you are overlooking in your own life right now is the very thing that will save you. I want you to promise me something. When you go out hunting today, don't just hunt for yourself. Tell someone else. Show them what to look for. Because you might have a neighbor, a friend, a family member who is struggling, who is sick, who is desperate, and they have a jar of old pennies sitting on their dresser. They don't know that the cure for their anxiety is sitting right there in copper form. You are now the expert. You are the guardian of the secret. Spread it. Share this video with 3 people right now. Hit that share button and send it to someone who needs a miracle. Imagine the phone call. Imagine the message you get that says, "I found one. I found the 1972 double die. You changed my life." That is the legacy I want for you. That is the legacy I want for this channel. We are not just looking at coins. We are changing destinies. We are turning pocket change into prosperity. So, recap your training. Year 1972. No mint mark. Look at Liberty. Look at the date. Look at In God We Trust. Sharp, crisp doubling. If you find it, do not clean it. Do not spend it. Put it in a soft plastic flip and contact a professional grading service. That coin deserves a tomb, a slab of plastic that will protect its value for the next 100 years. You are now prepared. You are now dangerous to the coin market in the best possible way. You have the knowledge. You have the power. And you have the eyes to see what others cannot. The hunt is on. And when you find that coin, when you feel that jolt of electricity through your fingers, I want you to come back to this video and write in the comments, "I found it." I will celebrate with you. I will share your story. Because your victory is my victory. Your discovery is our discovery. What if I told you that the United States Mint created a penny so strange, so baffling, that it defies everything we know about coin production? And what if I told you that this penny was made in 1977, stamped with a D for Denver, and it is sold for over $7,000? You would probably shake your head and say, not possible. 1977 is too modern. The Denver Mint made 4.5 billion pennies that year. 4.5 billion. If you stack them up, they would reach over 3,000 miles into the sky. With that many coins, how could any of them be rare? How could any of them be worth more than a few cents? This is the fatal mistake that nearly every single person makes. They assume that massive quantity means zero rarity. They assume that modern means worthless. They walk right past the treasure because they are blinded by assumption. But you are not most people. You are a seeker, a hunter, someone who understands that within every ocean of ordinary, there swims a single golden fish. Today, we are hunting that fish. Today, we are going deep into the 1977 D Lincoln penny, and specifically, we are hunting for an error so bizarre, so visually shocking, that it is known as the silver penny. The 1977 D Lincoln cent struck on a silver dime planchet. Stick with me until the very end, because if you skip even 10 seconds, you might miss the exact clue that tells you how to identify a coin worth thousands. Let me take you back to the Denver Mint in the year 1977. Disco music was dominating the airwaves. Star Wars had just premiered and changed cinema forever. And inside the sprawling industrial complex of the Denver Mint, the machines were running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, producing coinage at a volume that is almost incomprehensible. The pressure on the workers was immense. Bins filled with planchets, which are blank metal discs ready to be struck, were moving constantly along conveyor belts. One bin contained copper-plated zinc planchets destined to become pennies. Another bin, likely on the other side of the aisle, contained much smaller, lighter planchets made of an entirely different material. A copper-nickel-clad composition. These were dime planchets. They were intended to become Roosevelt dimes. A dime planchet is smaller than a penny planchet. It is lighter. It is silver in color on the edge, not the reddish-brown copper color you expect on a penny. Now, picture the scene. A worker, exhausted from a double shift, or perhaps a momentary lapse in procedure. A dime planchet falls into the penny bin. Or maybe an entire small batch gets mixed in. Nobody notices. It's a silver needle in a copper haystack. The bin is wheeled to the penny press. The hopper is loaded. The massive machine begins its rhythmic, earth-shaking stomp. Down comes the die with more than 40 tons of pressure. It smashes the design of Abraham Lincoln onto that tiny dime planchet. But because the dime planchet is smaller, the design overflows the edges. Parts of Lincoln's head are cut off. The date is jammed against the rim, or missing entirely. The letters of liberty fly off the edge of the coin. What comes out of that machine is not a penny. It is a hybrid monster. A Lincoln penny design on a silver dime body. And then it falls into a massive canvas bag with millions of normal pennies, disappearing into circulation, destined to be spent, ignored, and possibly lost forever. This is the holy grail of the 1977 D variety. It is called an off-metal wrong planchet error. And it is not just a minor little die chip that nobody cares about. This is a catastrophic, visible from across the room error. You do not need a microscope to see this. You do not need 10 years of collecting experience. You just need to know what to look for. And that is what I am going to give you right now. The specific, actionable knowledge that turns you into a detector of hidden wealth. If you have a 1977 D penny in front of you right now, pick it up. Feel its weight. A normal copper-plated zinc penny weighs exactly 3.11 grams. It feels substantial on your palm. A dime planchet weighs only 2.27 grams. That is a significant difference. If your 1977 D penny feels strangely light, almost hollow, your danger sensors should start flashing red. Next, look at the edge. The edge of a normal penny is a solid, unbroken copper color. The edge of the wrong planchet error will look silver, like a dime. It might even show the copper-nickel layering that gives it a grayish, silvery sandwich look. If you see a silver edge on a 1977 D Lincoln coin, your hands should start shaking. But the most damning evidence is the strike itself. Because the penny design is too large for the dime planchet, the design will be incomplete. The rim will be weak or non-existent. The tops of the letters in Liberty will be sliced off into oblivion. The date might be pressed right up against the edge, or partially missing. It looks like a photograph that was dramatically zoomed in and lost its borders. The value of this error is staggering. We are not talking about a $50 fine. We are talking about thousands of dollars. A genuine 1977 D Lincoln cent struck on a dime planchet has sold at major auction houses for prices ranging from $3,500 all the way up to over $7,500, depending on the condition and the dramatic nature of the off-center strike. Imagine going to the grocery store, receiving a handful of change, feeling a penny that doesn't feel right, and realizing you just got paid $7,000 to buy a gallon of milk. This is not fantasy. This is numismatic reality. This is why we hunt. But wait. Do not turn off this video yet, because the rabbit hole goes much deeper, and what I am about to tell you could make the difference between you finding a genuine rarity and getting scammed by your own hope. There is another completely different 1977 D error that is equally shocking. It is not off metal, but it is visually spectacular. It is the double-struck, off-center error. Sometimes, a 1977 D penny gets stuck to the die. The press cycles again, and the coin is struck a second time, but it has shifted from its original position. The result is a coin with two distinct images, one overlapping the other, sometimes rotated dramatically. The first strike might be centered, and the second strike is 30% off, creating a surrealistic, Salvador Dali melting effect on Lincoln's face. These double strikes, especially dramatic ones where the off-center is over 20%, can sell for hundreds and sometimes over $1,000. If you find a 1977 D that looks like it has a shadow of a second Lincoln behind it, or a double date that is not just a tiny doubling but a full separation, stop everything. You have found a mechanical error that is highly coveted. But here is the crucial warning that I must scream from the rooftops. You must know the difference between a genuinely rare error and damage. The coin market is filled with people who have taken a regular 1977 D penny and sanded it down to make it look silver, trying to fake the dime planchet error. You must check the weight. A sanded penny will weigh less than 3.11 grams, but it will still have the copper color in the recesses. A genuine dime planchet strike will be uniformly silver on the edge and surface, with the design naturally cut off at the rim. Do not be fooled by altered coins. Trust the scale. Trust the edge. Trust the missing details. And never, ever, ever clean a suspected error. If you find what you believe to be a wrong planchet or a double strike, do not rub it with your thumb to see if it shines. Do not dip it in vinegar. Do not use a pencil eraser on it. You are destroying the original mint surface, and you are destroying thousands of dollars in value. Put it in a soft plastic holder, and contact a professional coin grading company immediately. They will authenticate it, encapsulate it, and protect your treasure for life. Now, let me tell you a story that proves these coins are still out there, waiting to be discovered by someone who pays attention. A young boy in rural Texas was helping his grandmother clean out her attic in 2015. He found an old peanut butter jar filled with pennies. His grandmother told him to take it and buy some candy. He poured them out on the floor and started sorting them by date because he was a budding young collector. He pulled out the 1977 pennies because his dad was born in 1977. One of them caught his eye because the edge was completely wrong. It was silver. He ran to his dad, who was a mechanic and knew nothing about coins. The dad took it to work, showed a coworker, who Googled it and found an article about wrong planchet errors. They sent it to a grading company. It came back authenticated as a genuine 1977 penny struck on a dime planchet, graded MS62. It sold at auction for $5,800. That boy used the money to buy his first car when he turned 16. A 1977 penny, tossed into a jar as spare change, became a set of wheels, freedom, and a story he will tell his own grandchildren one day. This is the power of knowledge. The grandmother saw trash. The boy saw potential. The difference was simply awareness. And after watching this video, you have that awareness too. You can never go back to being blind. Every 1977 penny you touch for the rest of your life will be evaluated, weighed in your mind, checked for silver edges and double strikes. You are now officially a threat to the laziness of the ordinary world. You are a treasure hunter. So, what is your mission now? I need you to do something for me, and more importantly, for yourself. Go to that place where you dump your spare change. The jar in the kitchen. The cup holder in your car. The bottom of your purse. The junk drawer in the hallway. Start pulling out every single penny. Look for the D under the date 1977. Once you isolate those, do the edge check. Do the weight check in your palm. Look for the off-center madness. Do not rush. Treasure hunting is a discipline of patience. The moment you rush, you miss the detail. The moment you miss the detail, you leave the money on the table for someone else to find. And if you have already searched your house and found nothing, do not despair. Your mission expands. Go to the bank. Ask for rolls of pennies. They cost 50 cents a roll. You can get 20 rolls for $10. That is 500 pennies to inspect. Among those 500, statistically, you will find many 1977 coins. Go through every single one with a bright lamp and a magnifying glass if possible. Check for silver edges. Check for double strikes. This is not work. This is a paid treasure hunt where the base price is always returned. Your $10 is still $10 even if you find nothing. But if you find the error, your $10 just became $5,000. I want you to share this video right now with someone who needs a financial breakthrough. Hit that share button. Send it to your brother, your neighbor, your coworker who is struggling to pay rent. Because you might not find the error yourself, but they might. And when they do, the blessing will come back to you tenfold. We are building an army of eagle-eyed hunters who refuse to let history slip through our fingers. The 1977 D. Lincoln penny error is not just a coin. It is a symbol of hope. It proves that mistakes can be valuable. It proves that being different, being wrong, being off-center, is not a curse. It is a gift that can change your life. Imagine the moment you find it. Imagine the shaky hands. Imagine the phone call to the grading company. Imagine the insurance check that arrives weeks later, covering your medical bills, paying your rent, buying you breathing room. That moment is not reserved for the elite. It is reserved for the persistent. And I know you are persistent because you are still here, still watching, still absorbing every single word like your life depends on it. Because maybe it does. The Denver Mint in 1977 was a factory of chaos and beauty. Within that chaos, a few silver ghosts slipped out. A few dramatic double strikes escaped the melting pot. They are hiding in darkness right now, tucked into old wallets, buried in drawers, sitting in bank vaults waiting for someone to crack open a roll. Be the one who finds them. Be the one who refuses to let the treasure stay hidden. Before you laugh at the year 1979 and toss that penny back into your coin jar, I need you to listen to me very carefully. You are about to make the biggest financial mistake of your life. I know what you are thinking. 1979? That's not old. That's not rare. I probably have 20 of those in my car right now. And you are right. You probably do. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 6 billion pennies in 1979. 6 billion. That is enough pennies to circle the earth multiple times. The number is so large it almost loses meaning. So how could a 1979 penny with no mint mark possibly be worth anything, let alone thousands of dollars? This is the exact thought process that has caused countless people to spend, lose, and destroy coins that were worth more than a month's salary. Because hidden within those 6 billion ordinary pennies is a tiny handful of genetic freaks. Mutations. Errors so dramatic and so rare that they command prices of $3,000, $5,000, and even over $10,000 at auction. Today, I am going to reveal to you the 3 specific varieties of the 1979 no-mint mark penny that turned pocket change into life-changing cash. And by the time this video ends, you will never look at a 1979 penny the same way again. The year 1979 was a fascinating moment in American history. Jimmy Carter was in the White House. The energy crisis was gripping the nation. Gas lines stretched around blocks. And inside the Philadelphia Mint, a perfect storm of mechanical chaos was brewing. The Mint was transitioning technology, struggling with quality control, and pushing out pennies at an absolutely insane speed. When you rush perfection, mistakes happen. Beautiful, valuable, jaw-dropping mistakes. And Philadelphia, as always, used no mint mark. Their pennies are born anonymous, blank under the date where Denver stamps a D and San Francisco stamps an S. So when you see a 1979 with nothing under the date, that is Philadelphia. That is normal. But some of those normal-looking pennies are ticking time bombs of value. The first error, and the one that has made headlines around the world, is the 1979 double die obverse. This is not the machine doubling nonsense that amateur collectors mistake for value. This is true, certified, die-level doubling. A mistake that happened when the master hub was being pressed into the working die. The alignment was off. The die received a doubled image. And then that defective die went on to strike thousands of pennies before anyone noticed. The result? A coin where the date, the word liberty, and the motto "I in God we trust" all display a crisp, clear, dramatic second image. If you have a 1979 no mint mark penny in front of you right now, I want you to hold it under a bright light. Get as close as you can. Squint if you have to. Look at the word liberty. On a normal penny, the letters are sharp and singular. On the doubled die, they look like they are casting a shadow. A shadow that is sharp, not blurry. Look specifically at the R and the T. Do you see a second outline above them? Do you see a split in the serifs, those little feet at the bottom of the letters? This doubling is strongest on liberty, but it also haunts the date 1979. Examine the 9. Examine the 7. Do they look thicker than usual? Do they show a distinct step-like second image? If yes, your pulse should be quickening. Genuine 1979 double die obverse pennies have sold for anywhere from $800 in circulated condition all the way up to $3,500 for pristine, uncirculated specimens. But the doubled die is just the first layer of this treasure map. There is a second, even more visually shocking error that is so rare it makes the doubled die look common. It is called the 1979 transitional off-metal error. And this one requires you to understand a little bit of penny history. Before 1982, pennies were solid copper. 95% copper, 5% zinc. They were heavy, weighing 3.11 grams. In 1982, the mint switched to copper-plated zinc planchets that weighed only 2.5 grams. But here is where the chaos happens. Sometimes, a leftover planchet from a previous year gets mixed into the wrong bin. A solid copper planchet from the old days gets struck with a 1979 design. Or, even more incredibly, a copper-plated zinc planchet intended for a future year somehow time travels backward and gets struck with a 1979 date. So, here is your second mission. Pick up your 1979 no mint mark penny and weigh it. If you don't have a precise scale, get one. A basic digital jewelry scale costs less than $20 online, and it could pay for itself 10,000 times over with a single find. A normal pre-1982 copper penny weighs 3.11 grams. If your 1979 weighs 2.5 grams, you have found a unicorn. A penny struck on a zinc planchet that was not supposed to exist yet. Or, conversely, if you have a 1979 penny that is clearly solid copper but somehow weighs something strange, investigate it. These wrong planchet errors are astronomical in value. A genuine 1979 cent struck on a zinc planchet can fetch over $5,000. Imagine holding a penny that feels slightly too light, slightly wrong, and realizing that wrongness is worth more than a luxury vacation. Now, I need you to stay with me, because the third error is the one that most people overlook entirely. It is the most hidden, the most insidious, and yet it has created multiple paydays for sharp-eyed hunters. I am talking about the 1979 filled D or filled mint mark error. Wait, you might say. You just said Philadelphia has no mint mark. That is correct. But sometimes, a Denver mint mark punch was used accidentally, or a tiny blob of metal fills the space where a mint mark would be. More importantly, there exists a rare variety where a microscopic remnant of a D appears below the date on a Philadelphia coin, or where the D is filled in so completely it appears missing on a Denver coin. These are transitional grease-filled die errors. But the real hidden killer is the 1979 no mint mark proof error. Yes, proof. San Francisco made proof sets in 1979 with the S mint mark. But what if a proof die was used without the S? What if a proof planchet, that mirror-like, specially polished blank, was struck in Philadelphia without its S? This is the ghost. The coin that looks like a perfect, liquid silver mirror but has no S. It is a 1979 no S proof, and if you find one, you are looking at a coin worth over $10,000. This is not exaggeration. This is documented auction history. One sold at heritage auctions for over $10,000 because it is a mistake defined by absence. Silence. The missing letter. Let me tell you a story that will light a fire under your feet. A woman in Pennsylvania was going through her deceased mother's belongings in 2020. Her mother had a small, dusty collection of proof sets from the 1970s and 1980s. They were not a wealthy family. These were probably gifts or small purchases over the years. The woman almost donated them to a thrift store without opening the boxes. But some whisper of intuition, told her to check. She opened the 1979 proof set. 4 coins inside. The penny was there, gleaming like a mirror. But there was no S. She Googled it. She found a video much like this one. She contacted a coin dealer. That dealer authenticated it as a genuine 1979 no S proof. It sold for $9,750. That money paid for her mother's funeral, her debts, and a fresh start. All because she didn't throw away a box of old coins. This is the emotional core of what we do. We are not just collecting metal. We are collecting hope. We are collecting second chances. Every single 1979 penny you touch from now on is a potential miracle. And the odds of finding one of these errors are slim, yes. But they are zero if you never look. The moment you open your eyes and start searching, the odds shift in your favor. The universe rewards the persistent. The treasure belongs to the hunter who refuses to quit. Now, I must give you the critical warnings because your financial safety depends on them. Do not confuse a doubled die with machine doubling. Machine doubling is flat, mushy, and worthless. True doubled die doubling is raised, rounded, and splits the letters cleanly. Learn the difference. Study images online. Train your eyes. Next, do not rely on your eyes alone for weight. Buy a scale. A 2.5 gram 1979 penny is a retirement ticket. Weigh every single 1979 you find. Next, and this is the most heartbreaking warning I ever give, do not clean the coin. If you find a 1979 that looks dirty, blackened, green, or dull, leave it. Do not polish it. Do not scrub it with baking soda. Do not use a pencil eraser. Do not even rub it with a cloth. That dirt is history. That patina is the fingerprint of authenticity. The moment you clean a coin, you destroy its original surface and you can turn a $5,000 coin into a $5 coin in seconds. Seconds. I have seen grown men cry because they made this mistake. Don't let that be you. Your mission now is clear and non-negotiable. Go to every corner of your home. Dump out every jar. Open every drawer. Check every old purse and wallet. Pull out every 1979 penny. Check the date for doubling. Check the surface for mirror-like proof quality. Check the weight. Check for the missing S. If you find nothing at home, go to the bank tomorrow. Get $20 in penny rolls. That is 2,000 pennies. Among those 2,000, you will find many 1979 Philadelphia strikes. Go through every single one with a magnifying glass and a scale. Make it a ritual. A treasure hunt with your morning coffee. Every penny you search is a lottery ticket that costs you nothing and returns its face value even if you lose. Share this video right now. Send it to someone you love who is struggling. A family member, a friend, a coworker who needs a financial miracle. Because even if you don't find the error, they might. And their victory is your victory. We are a community of hunters. We lift each other up. We spread the knowledge. We refuse to let history be overlooked. The Philadelphia Mint in 1979 was a chaotic beast, spitting out billions of coins with mechanical indifference. But within that chaos, a few diamonds were formed. A few doubled letters, a few wrong planchets, a few missing mint marks. They are out there right now, sitting in jars and drawers and bank vaults, waiting for the light of your magnifying glass. Waiting for your hands to pick them up. Waiting for you to realize what you hold. Imagine that moment. The moment your heart stops. The moment you double-check the weight, triple-check the doubling, and realize this is real. Imagine the phone call to the auction house. Imagine the deposit hitting your bank account. Imagine the breathing room, the medical bills paid, the stress lifted, the future secured. That moment is worth every hour of searching. That moment is why we do this. I am here with you. I am fighting alongside you. And I believe that your breakthrough is closer than you think. The 1979 no mint mark penny is not just a coin. It is a symbol. A symbol that even in a world of 6 billion ordinary things, you can find the one that changes everything.